Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Erin, and I'd like to ask you if you can subscribe, comment, and press the notification bell. And there's something else. If I remember it, I'll tell you in the end. Alright, so I'd like to talk to you about a few things, and I know I have been a little bit dismissive of my family. I know that is really hard on them as well, the way I've been talking about them, because with some issues we've been having, with some problems that we haven't like delved into to fix, it's just I've always felt like I never had a real family. I felt like my family is just all fake, because they treat each other the way they treat me, toxic, and I don't like that feeling, and I know none of you would like that feeling either. But I really want to assure my feelings here on YouTube and tell you that I'm gonna stop with the hate on my family, because I know it's really hard as a family, and it's really tough being able to go through life being talked about on YouTube, and they don't feel comfortable about me subjecting them to other things, because I'm not trying to judge them. I'm just putting out a fact, the truth, and they just don't want to hear it coming from me. So I thought if they watched my videos, they could hear it from my videos. So if my family is watching, I want to let you know, I want to apologize for putting hate out there towards you, and if you can accept my apology. I know that it's really tough for someone even to do that on video, but I really want to confront this issue. I do love my family, I just don't have a really good relationship with them. And the truth is, they are toxic. They are narcissists. But they're my family. And I want to really love them, but it's really hard when they only give me fake love. Sorry about the phone, not video camera. It's actually a phone. But they've been, at one point in my life, they've actually been there for me. But in the small areas where they haven't been there, were the areas where I really needed them the most, and they weren't there. My older sister, she had to be the second mother to me and my younger sister for quite some time. And all because my mom used to have a job. And my older sister, I have always looked up to her, and she was there for me the most than my little sister, because she was the only one I could talk to. My little sister was always like the baby. She was the baby, and she always wanted mommy, and she never really wanted me. And all I wanted was love. Well, growing up in that conservative life, that Christian life, it just felt like having the Christian background and my dad's last name made me feel like I was being devoured as a person, because I felt like Christianity took a toll on my life. I always felt like I wasn't being honest, and I want to be honest with myself. It just terrified me that I was lying to myself about being a Christian, and it terrified me. It's so hard when you were raised in a family that you thought loved you, and all they do is they demean everything about me. They belittle me. They have never put me under their wing to protect me. They always put me down all the time. And I loved them. I loved them with so much empathy and so much compassion, but they did not have that for me. It was all fake. It was all a front. And it tore me apart. And when they did that, it just seemed like they were acting hypocritical about their faith, because they have actually judged me over time. And I'm gonna be honest here, I have judged them in the past. I have. Yes, I feel shameful about it. Yes, I regret it. But I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty of it. I feel shameful because that was just, I just don't know how to explain that. It's just being ashamed of my family and being ashamed of how I treated them made me feel like it was wrong. But I don't feel guilty about it. I grew up believing that everything was right, everything that they were doing was right, but it just seemed like they didn't really get that where I was going in my life was right for me. So one day I actually found out the truth about myself. I've been finding a whole bunch of pieces that has fallen apart, and I've been building those pieces up within me and learning to cope with the mechanisms of who I am, my faith, being a witch, and being a vegan, which I've been trying to be a vegan, but there are some things that I still do eat, and I'm trying to wean myself off of. And being a minimalist, and it's not like I'm putting labels on myself, it's just I'm putting them out there, putting these things out there so that people know that this is my lifestyle, this is what I do, this is my life. And I don't want my family to judge that about me. But they do. They judge everything about me. The only thing that I've ever judged them about were just a few things. Their faith and their stubbornness. When I was a kid, I actually was terrified of my father. I was terrified of my grandfather, his dad. All because my grandfather, just with one look, he never hit me, period. My grandfather never hit me. All he had to do was look at me in the eyes, and I was in tears. Because I was terrified of the man. He scared the living bleep out of me. The reason why I was terrified of my dad was because he hit me. He would spank me. And I didn't actually really agree with that. You know, shouldn't a kid have a right about their body and how they're treated? I felt that way. I felt like I should be respected. But my father and my mother did not agree. They thought this is actually the way to actually teach me. But it wasn't. It's not the way. According to things that I've actually read, it destroys a child's gray matter, and that actually happens to create an imbalance of light and dark within the brain, trying to help the child to learn and focus and concentrate. And I'll get to that in a different video. Let me jump back into to what I was actually talking about before. So I just don't think that parents should be hitting their kids just to teach them a lesson. I just think that parents need to be respectful of the child, love their child for real. Don't, and I'm just not like asking you to do this. I know it's your choice, but doesn't your child have a choice too? Don't they have their own rights? I have always wanted my family to understand where I come from when I talk about my faith, and they're constantly judging it. They mock it. And when I'm around, when I came out to my family, to my immediate family, about me being gay, and the only person who really knew right away that I was gay was my brother-in-law, my older sister's husband. And the thing was, I actually told my younger sister and my cousin, like, before my brother-in-law came into the picture, before my older sister got married to the guy. And then he actually noticed when, like, I used to live in their neighborhood, and he noticed that I dressed a certain way and that I had my hair a certain way, and he told my sister that he doesn't want me around his kids. Well, in the back of my brain right now, I'm like, too bad. Anyways, I feel like being the person I am today has actually changed my life. It drew a really big impact on me when I actually started welcoming witchcraft into my life. When I became a witch, I felt empowered. Not like, like being all powerful, having powers and stuff like that. I felt empowered by the inspiration it put in my life. And when I became a lesbian, when I realized that I was a lesbian, I realized that this is really me. I'm actually living out my truth. This is actually really a part of me that was real. And I actually had a relationship with a girl once, and it felt like it was natural. It felt like it was so real to me. And then I actually had a moment with a different girl at a different time, and me and her, we kissed. It was just like it wasn't a fling. I really had feelings for the girl. She didn't even know that I had feelings for her, and she asked me, "Have you ever kissed a girl?" I said, "No. I only was in a short period in a relationship with a different girl, but I never really kissed a girl." And she's like, "Well, come with me." So we go to the bathroom, and she kisses me. I was like, what? It was like, wow, that was amazing. And that's when I actually realized that I am gay. So, further on, I want to be honest about this too. I did have relationships with guys before, but it never really stuck because I felt like it wasn't meant. Like, I wasn't meant to be with a guy. You know how, like, when little girls, when they're little, they always have these daydreams about their Prince Charming? Well, I would have these daydreams that I was going to marry someone. And in my daydream, I've always seen the shoes. That it was there was an image, and all I saw was shoes. Everything else was blurry. And then there was this one time I was actually getting ready to go to my best friend's house because he had a doctor's appointment. But the night before, I was laying in my bed trying to figure out what to wear, and I had a daydream about the person I was going to marry, and it all came clear. It was a female image. I saw the female body, but I did not see the face. The face was blurry, and it still looks like it's blurry, the face. I still have those daydreams that I'm gonna get married to a woman, but I don't see the face. I haven't even found the girl yet. So I know she'll come. She's probably around the corner. Not literally, like metaphorically speaking, she's around the corner, waiting for me. Maybe she might be in the state that I'm planning on moving to. But the thing is, one way or another, I'm going to be happy. And it's not like I'm saying that I'm one way or another I'm going to be happy when I have a woman on my arm, or I'm going to be happy when I actually have a job. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I'm going to be happy when I get out of here, because I'm going to feel freedom. I'm going to feel peace. But there's going to be tears that's going to shed, because, and probably there's probably going to be anxiety there as well, because I learned from watching Michelle Lee Neves coaching. She talks about what happens after you leave, after you move. And she said it was like, you're gonna feel anxious, you're gonna feel alone, you're gonna be afraid, you're gonna feel all of these emotions. But in the end, after these emotions are over, you're gonna start feeling so much better. You're gonna start feeling free. You're gonna start feeling some peace in your life and clarity. I just added clarity. I didn't know if she said that, but the thing is, I've been watching her, and I can't remember the last name, but it's New something. But I've been watching them for so long, way before I started watching other people, and they were like my inspiration. They were like, oh, new mind frame, that's what it is. And those are the two people who were very inspiring for me when I started watching videos about narcissism and gaslighting and all those kind of things. And I'm learning to get better, and I guess what I want to do is like make everything better for myself. I want to have more self-care, more self-love, and I want to be a more honest person here on YouTube. I don't want to keep lying to myself about things that makes me terrified, because I feel shameful of my family, how they treated me in my past, and still do. But that's all on them. It's not my fault. It's theirs. If they hadn't have like been toxic, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be talking about this right now. But they're toxic, and I'm here, and I'm talking about it. And I'm actually going to start fresh and be more mindful and having a different mindset, a new train of thought, and I'm gonna start changing a bunch of things about myself, and I'm gonna take you along that road with me so you can see how great I am. And I want you to see my heart, and I want to show you that this is who you can be. This is who you can mirror if you need someone to look up to.